from your 24-hour news source. Frank Robertson, Kelly Ring, Roy Leaf's weather, Andy Hardy on sports. Channel 13 Eyewitness News at 11.
It must be perfect since it's dedicated to one of the world's favorite heroes.
A hero who's going to get a strong message from Bay Area Cubans during his big party. Good evening, I'm Frank Robertson.
And I'm Kelly Ring, and the Star-Spangled Celebration for General Schwarzkopf is our top story. All happened Sunday when thousands are expected to line the streets and pour into Tampa Stadium to welcome Stormin' Norman and the troops home.
Eyewitness News reporter Kim Keeler takes a look at preparations for the red, white, and blue celebration as the clock winds down. Kim?
That's right, Kelly and Frank. The city is scurrying to get everything into place, from getting hundreds of feet to dance in the right direction tonight to the more serious concern, ensuring the general's safety during the Star-Spangled Salute. Between counting and watching their parents coaching, it can be a little tough to concentrate.
She'll be able to look back and say, I played a part in the day that we celebrated him.
Try once again, and this time try not to be conscious of the fact that the man many of these children consider their greatest hero will be just across the field. And thousands are expected to turn out in Tampa, just as they did to see General Norman Schwarzkopf in Kentucky's Derby Parade. The general, who admits to receiving death threats as well as accolades, was surrounded by local police and FBI agents there, just as he will be here.
There will be a contingency of some plainclothes officers and some teams that can respond in the event that we do have some problems.
The general's motorcade will travel down MacDill along Columbus, taking him to Tampa Stadium for the celebration. And a large group of Bay Area Cubans will be along that route to send their own message. Kuwait is free, now free Cuba.
And that maybe he could take a look at us and see what's happened in our country, and maybe we're next.
Almost everybody has something to say to the general Sunday. The Boy Scouts in the show.
I think it's an honor to be with
Candace, when the general sees the children dance.
It's not really that hard.
And her enthusiastic mother.
To have him here in our presence and our midst, I think the tears may flow a little bit for most of us.
For some, though, no words are needed. Now, the stadium gates open at 2 o'clock Sunday, and the red, white, and blue celebration begins at 5, right after the general's motorcade. Now, best of all, it's free for all.
Sounds like a lot of fun, too, Kim. You got a chance to see the show this afternoon. How does it compare to the Super Bowl show?
Well, it should be very similar. In fact, many of the children in this show were also in the Super Bowl. It's being produced by Disney, just like the other one, and there will be a huge fireworks show to top it all off.
We all look forward to it. Thanks, Kim.
They are not calling it an earthquake, but just a mild tremor. It felt in parts of southern Illinois, Missouri, and Arkansas tonight. It rumbled through about an hour ago. So far, there have been no reports of any injuries, and damage is reported to be light.
And back in the Bay Area, Florida Highway Patrol officers are clearing the roads after a tragic accident. An unidentified man is dead after being struck by a fast-moving car on Park Blvd in Pinellas County. Witnesses say he was walking home from a bar. Further details are unavailable right now.
It was to be a rare criminal prosecution of a grieving parent, but the judge decided there was not enough evidence. A Florida father was charged for failing to comply with the state's child safety seat law. But as Eyewitness News reporter Stacey Strasis tells us, those enforcing the law say it has some problems.
Okay, we'll leave him there. 2-year-old Kelsey's mom is taking no chances on her children's safety. They buckle up in the restraint seats wherever they go.
I'm a nurse and I've worked in pediatrics, and I have seen some children that have come in car accidents that have not been in car seats.
3-year-old Veronica Rodriguez never made it to the doctor's office. She was killed in this car. The feverish 3-year-old was being held by her mother like this. The grieving father was charged with vehicular homicide. The law requires restraint devices for children under 4 and seatbelts for 4- and 5-year-olds. A Miami judge threw out the case. The president of the Hillsborough County Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers says the judge's decision sends a message.
It is saying is that there has to be some reason and some reasonableness in the way
The laws are made, number one, and enforced, number two.
Not having a child under 6 restrained in a vehicle is probable cause for an officer to pull you over. But the cops admit there's little enforcement because there's no aggressive push from the governor. Today, the fine is $34 and no points on your insurance. But this year's legislative session upped the penalty to $150 and 3 points. Looking at the expense of the citation, and most important, a child's life, the restraint seats are a bargain. They range in price from $30 to $100, but shop around. When you buy a seat from this store and your child outgrows it, they'll refund half your money. Money and time more than worth a child's life. In Tampa, Stacey Strazes, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Car seats can be rented from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for under $30.
Investigators will spend the next few days trying to find out why a suspect died in sheriff's custody. 35-year-old Gary Urksay died here in Mango in Hillsborough County just after midnight. Deputies say he ran from them after they were called into the area to look for a prowler. The officers say Urksay died of a heart attack, but friends and family say deputies suffocated him while trying to subdue him. An autopsy should determine the exact cause of death. And in Madeira Beach, a female skinny dipper plans to sue the city because a police officer forced her to ride to the police station stark naked. 39-year-old Roxanne Moreso and a male friend were skinny dipping on the beach last June. Lieutenant Matthew McShane arrested them but would not allow Moreso to get dressed. The Madeira Beach city manager asked the officer to resign today, saying he'd never heard of anything like this. The state dropped a charge of disorderly conduct against Moreso this week. She now plans to sue both the city and the officer.
You can bet more than a few Manatee County teachers and administrators are sitting home tonight glad this week is over. Bradenton's Sugg Middle School may be quiet at this hour. It was anything but earlier today. Rumors of a rumble brewing between black and white students prompted the principal to let the kids go home early. There was also trouble at Bayshore High School where 3 students were kicked out for hiding 2 handguns. An attempted rape under investigation in Largo tonight. Police say a man walked into a house near Ulmerton and 66th Street around 10 o'clock this morning. For the next 40 minutes, he terrorized the woman inside and attempted to rape her. The suspect is described as about 28 years old. He has dark curly hair and was wearing a striped shirt, green or red shorts, and green shoes. If you have any information, contact the Largo Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-873-TIPS.
For the 39th year, Clearwater streets were filled with music and lights this evening. Bands from Clearwater, Countryside, Dunedin, and 7 other towns showed their stuff in the Fun and Sun Illuminated Night Parade. Local dignitaries and organizations put on their parade for the best celebration. This year's parade had over 80 entries and plenty of spectators.
I wonder if it's hot wearing a kilt in this kind of weather.
I'm sure it's not wearing anything.
Well, the heat is certainly on in Tampa Bay, but what can we look for tomorrow and Sunday?
Roy Leap's forecast is still ahead.
It should be very similar.
Also tonight, what could the shape of your ears have to do with your chances for a heart attack? Some doctors say a lot. We'll tell you why. And tonight's Dallas finale marks more than the end of a TV series. It was an American social force. Denise White reports live from a farewell Dallas party.
Mercedes, BMW, Lexus. Expensive cars with a life-saving luxury, an airbag. Fortunately, there's also the Isuzu Stylus, the only import under $10,000 with a driver's side airbag standard, so you too can enjoy a lower cost of living. The Isuzu Stylus, there's no comparison.
Now the Stylus could also save you money, up to $2,000 during Isuzu's big deal.
Around here, folks set aside weekends for family. And as usual, at Bob Evans, you'll find them gathering 3 generations deep over a big, hearty breakfast. You'll hear grandpas telling their favorite stories and babies telling theirs. The way it was is the way it is. Welcome to Bob Evans.
Stalled budget talks are the subject in Washington today. Negotiators are coping with a fiscal budget deficit estimated at $168 billion. Rain, at times heavy, is expected to last through the weekend. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial closed down for the 4th day in a...
You know what's really important.
Knowing from Estee Lauder. Now at Maison Blanche.
The human shoe. It poses no threat.